Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ice Cream Uploads here on, what day is it? It's Tuesday. It's 2:30. I do apologise for you it going out late. We are obviously a little bit later than the 10 a.m.-ish scheduled time, but it's for good purpose. You may or may not have known that we were selling some of our merch that is available now, i.e. these hats. They have now all been posted to everyone who has purchased one, and we can't thank you enough for doing that. So I have taken them all to the post office. They are now dispatched, shipped, and ready. Should be with you if you are in the UK by the end of the week, the Friday, Saturday-ish. If you like Lake, who can see in the chat now, it said like 6 to 7 days. So hopefully by this time next Wednesday, Wednesday, you should be wearing a nice EU hat. So I do appreciate every single one of you that have done that. Brumteza, afternoon. How you doing? Goffs everywhere, says Nietzsche as he subscribes for 6 months with his Twitch Prime. You absolute legend. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. But I hope that you are. Do I need to kill my chatbot? It's funny you should say that, Graham, because when I came in today, the chatbot PC was not on. So I don't understand why you were getting duplicate stuff. I have got chatbot open on that PC. It just probably doesn't have all the newer things, newer commands. Yeah, Andy killed it on Friday night. Okay, cool. Right, sound. He was nearby. All right, sound. Yeah, I came in, I was like, what's going on here? It just went a bit AWOL. But anyway, Lotus is in here nice and early as well. Again, Nietzsche, thank you very much for your was it 9 months? Yeah, no, 6 months. 6 months, you know. Do you know what I mean? You haven't been knocking around. You haven't been subscribing long enough for 9 months. We haven't had a baby together yet, but there is still time. There is still time, you big goth. But anyway, this is Ice Cream Uploads. This is the UK's #1 video game podcast, I might add, even if we do so say ourselves. And we do, quite frequently. But over 130,000 of you have listened, downloaded, watched live over the course of the 2.5 years that we've been doing this for. So again, we very much appreciate that as well. It is available. Yes, Ravi, I know you probably listen to this now, as you quite clearly pointed out, as I outed you last Friday. But we do come to you on all of your favourite podcast services, including Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, and iTunes. All the big four, including watching back on all of the on-demand services that are relevant, like Twitch and YouTube. So yes. Golf? Goff. Oh, I thought you said golf. My eyes. Seriously, I need to go for an eye test because I'm reading that over there. I've got it in front of me on my laptop like I usually do, Graham, but I'm still looking at that over there, and I could have sworn it said golf. But I have moved the camera today, so why don't you come in a little bit closer and we'll have a little chat, eh? What are you saying? Yeah, we're nice and low. I say nice and low. Graham, I don't think this works for me in here because this chair is on the lowest it can possibly, and I feel like I'm leaning over. I feel like this might be a bad posture thing, and something to do with the microphone not being underneath my mouth, which I'm going to give a very small, short teaser, is that we have actually started to get upgrades for this studio. So hopefully in the next month or so, all of this will be completely different. And I'm holding the mic like The Rock for the time being because this one isn't quite long enough. This is photoshoppable. It isn't quite long enough for me to be able to be right underneath my throat. Or underneath my mouth, shall we say. So I'm using this one like I usually do. This is the biggie mic. Biggie mic? This is the biggie mic. You're on Spotify. Wonder why G's never mentioned it. Why you being a dick? I'm only joking, Nietzsche. I love you, babe. Fucking Andy Man Walloper, says Nietzsche again. Not just small upgrades, but the biggest set of upgrades the studio has ever had. I mean, I was trying to downplay it a little bit because I'd rather go in, you know, I'd rather shoot for the roof than shoot for the moon. And I've gone, do you know what? We've got some upgrades coming along. It's not just the sake of, we've got new mice, we've got new keyboards, we now have a new TV. Wait until you see the upgrades that we've got in this studio. Jesus Christ. When I say that it was an eye-watering amount of money that has been spent on this studio, you won't even understand unless we show you the bill. Wow. It is insane. So I don't know what that spells for the studio and having scoops maybe for a week. I reckon it's going to take a little bit longer than that. on because me and Graham are obviously in the studio Tuesdays. I do the scoop from here on Wednesdays, and then we're both in the studio again on Thursdays. I've got a really bad feeling that for the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, this studio is probably going to be out of action. So we will obviously give you the heads up as to when that is going to be ahead of time. It's not just going to be studio's broke, we're not coming in today. Sounds windy in that studio. Really? That's the lights. That's the sound of the lights. We've got no aircon on or anything in here. Can you hear that? But yeah, that's the sound of the lights. It might be because we're a little bit higher in the studio. Oh, you're breathing into the mic. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, unless I lean down like this, I haven't really got a choice. So have some of that. Have some of that. But yeah, I mean, that's. I don't want to say too much. But what we have got planned for this studio and what the scoops are going to look like and everything else in the future is going to be crazy. And again, it's have some of that. Says Lotus. When I say what the future of this stream and what this studio looks like I'm telling you now, there are studios out there on Sky and on YouTube that have millions of subscribers that won't look anywhere as good as what the studio is going to look like. I swear to God. Talking to the face, not the top. Talking to the face and not the top. Oh, you mean this bit? Okay, talking to the face. I'm talking to the face. But yeah, when I say this, I'm saying it with my chest. Our studio is going to look better than most YouTube channels, shall we say, and most Sky channels. I'm trying not to out anyone, and I'm trying not to compare ourselves to anyone at the same time because that isn't the kind of guy that I am, and I'd rather not do that. But genuinely, the upgrades that we've got is going to be mega. Now my setup is... your monitor is amazing. It wouldn't fit in mine. Just better! Your monitor is amazing. It probably won't fit in my room, my home studio. I mean, does the sound okay from like this distance? Again, I'd much rather have the microphone underneath my lips like I usually do when we're at home. But at this moment in time, it's a desk one, so I'm having to lean down a little bit. Have some of that. Want to fucking lay one on you? Listen, has anyone watched Trailer Park Boys? Probably haven't. It's probably too niche for you guys, but it's fucking incredible if you've never watched it before. Better than you. But anyway, yeah, that's the studio upgrades. Again, I don't know when it's likely to be getting set up. It's on Netflix if you're not watching it, Trailer Park Boys. Please do go and watch it. It's amazing. I don't know when it's likely to start getting set up. It could be as early as next week. But again, I'm not too sure, so we'll give you the heads up. When we're at home, when me and Graham are at home on the Mondays and Fridays, you will get a scoop. Don't worry about that one. But while the studio's been taken apart, it wouldn't make sense because we wouldn't have a studio to be able to use. Next couple of weeks-ish, yeah. Keep your eyes peeled because we will be knocking it out of the park, shall we say. It's going to be great. But anyway, you've come here for video game news, and that is exactly what I'm going to be giving you today. And the lead story is there is going to be some major changes over on the FIFA side of things. What that entails, again, we're going to dig into that in a few moments. We will continue the show with a couple of Valve stories. They kind of go hand in hand as something that we can discuss together. And the first one is that Valve is already planning a Steam Deck 2 when the first one has only just started to be shipped out, which is amazing, really. Imagine planning that far ahead. It just shows you how quickly PC parts become redundant, of which I've actually just got a new CPU on the way, so hopefully the streams at home. Oh, as well, again, a complete different tangent. I have fixed my stream. My stream at home, we will be able to play games on Friday and you will not hear it 14 times over. We have sorted it, it's done, it's fixed. I upgraded everything and it kind of fixed itself. So yes, that will be back on Friday. Again, if you haven't seen the stream schedule, Graham will be going live tomorrow, chasing crates with mates with Lotus. And then on Friday, I'll be going back live with some Skyrim. Who knows, I might even do a quick PUBG game beforehand just to keep my hand in there. Again, I don't know if I should say this because Graham will not stop asking me to play it, but I've been watching a fair few PUBG streams, not just Graham's, but various community members. I've not played it that much, but I'm coming a bit obsessed with it. Not necessarily playing it, but definitely watching it. So I feel like I want to have a quick blast on that on Friday. So we might have 1 or 2 games on that before jumping into Skyrim. Who knows? And then on Saturday, Graham's back in with some PUBG action again. So that's a full week of Ice Cream Uploads content that you'll be able to come and watch. She'll let the best a man can get. Sign me up. Next couple of weeks, Ice Up-ish. I've already read that one out. Might have to plan a trip to coincide with the Scoop episode. Absolutely get it done. Lake says, never seen one episode of Trailer Park. Boys, you are missing out. They are all on Netflix. Get it watched. You'll love it. If he ever gets over the man flu, agreed. That he's talking about Graham there, by the way. If I'm playing ranked all day and he doesn't show, I'll cry and rage quit. Says Lotus. I'd never seen that before. Says as plays. So it says Graham to adds plays. Have I missed something here? Is it something that I haven't seen? Oh, okay. So it's it comes up something completely different in our chat bot. So I'll have to have a look at that one. One of us. Jemstead, it doesn't work. It doesn't work on the chatty bot. As you can imagine, it's just a smiley face. It doesn't show anything else. But anyway, you come here for video game news, and by God, I'm going to give it you. So again, as I mentioned, the Valve is already planning a Steam Deck 2. Fantastic, brilliant. Valve have also come out. Sorry, I just blue screened a little bit. My screen went completely white on my laptop. I think it's on its way out, so that could be something that gets upgraded soon as well. That completely lost track of everything then. It shows how heavily reliant I am on this. But Valve would happily help Microsoft put Games Pass on Steam. Imagine that. Imagine having a portable Game Pass that isn't on your mobile phone. Can you imagine it? It was sick, wasn't it? It'll be amazing. But apparently that's something that's going to be happening at some point. And then we're going to close the show with facts that Nvidia completely compromised by a cyber attack. It's not riveting news today. I'm sorry. If you've come here for some juicy news, you ain't going to be. This is the wrong place. It is a snooze fest out there. I was going to say it's a pile of shit. It is a pile of shit. It's a snooze fest. The news is adequate, it's passable, it's worth putting a show together for, but believe me, you won't be falling off your chair with the news that you're going to be hearing today, I'll have you know. But anyway, you have come here for news, you're here for me to start reading it out to you because Graham's not here, so prepare for word acrobats, sentences that completely get messed out. I'm putting punctuation where there is no punctuation, so let's get this party started. Which one is it? Is it Game Frame? It's been a while since I've driven this. That didn't work. Okay, so we go console instead. Okay, that didn't work either. What the fuck? It was working earlier. Camera frame, maybe? No, that's just me again. Hello! What the shit? Why isn't it working now? Just black screen. Okay, let's bring me back on here a second. Oh, maybe it's pit position. Do we need to press this? No, okay. Well, this isn't working. It was working a second ago. Maybe that's why my screen went white. Maybe. Front cam, nope. Okay, game frame. Oh, piss off, Ghost. Don't really know what to do here, if I'm being honest, because it's not appearing. Has the capture card decided to die? Has it died? Graham, you're the boss. Tell Bibby to never sing again on Scoops. WWE 2K is amazing. Just saying it now. You've said it 4 times, mate, and you're making me insanely jealous that I haven't played it yet. So if I go to front cam a second, and then I go and unplug the capture card and plug it back in again, that might work. So for the time being, I will just roll slightly to the edge of the stage, getting further and further away from the microphone as I glide off the side and I walk towards the capture card. I unplug the capture card, which is on the other side of the desk, so I have to calmly walk around the desk and walk around the cameras as I'm getting further and further away from the microphone, which you may be able to hear my voice in the distance. Maybe, who knows. So I'm going to restart the capture card, see if this makes a difference. Capture card has now been unplugged and has now been re-plugged in. I'm sitting down at the production desk. As I sit, the chair slowly rolls towards the desk as I now start to restart the capture card. The capture card is being restored. Live Gamer Portable 2. We press OK. It does come up on the screen. You can see this live on your TVs in momentarily as I slowly start to walk back around the studio, past the cameras, past the screens, past both sets of cameras, Shrieker on the pitch, as I go to sit down in the GT Omega chairs, who are proud sponsors of ICU. I click game frame, and the beautiful boy comes up on the screen. Boom! I think that's why my screen went white, because the capture card decided to fail. Good job I don't have epilepsy, says Nietzsche. Look away now. He's talking to himself again. I absolutely am, to be fair. Fatman Days, the scoop, audio description. That's exactly what I was doing. I'm just trying to keep you entertained. Even when shit's going, hitting the fan, I am here. I'm an entertainer. I am a podcast host. I am a podcast co-host. I am a full-time, part-time bean. Or walloper. Or goth, as Nietzsche would like to point out. But anyway, let's get into some video game news, and that's exactly what you're here for. So FIFA 23 will reportedly include crossplay and expanded women's leagues, written by Jordan Midler over at VGC. And he states, why is my screen not working now? Unplug. Replug. There we go. It's decided to work now. It might come up on your screen in a second. There we go. Bloody hell. It was scrolling, but it wasn't scrolling for me. Anyway. FIFA 23 will reportedly include crossplay for the first time in the series' history. That's according to Xfire, which claims that the series will allow players from PlayStation, Xbox, and PC to play together for the very first time. The report also claims that EA's hypermotion technology has received a large upgrade and now allows for the development team to capture animations from real footballers in matches using stadium cameras, eliminating the need for Zen suits. Zen suits? Is that the ones with the balls on them? I don't know. The updated tech will seemingly be able to capture over 100 times more data in one season of football footage than EA has captured in the history of the franchise. This claim comes from an internal meeting. FIFA 23 will also feature both the men's and women's FIFA World Cups, and it's also claimed that EA plans to expand the licenses agreement currently in place with the women's leagues and teams. Last week, we reported that Electronic Arts CEO Andrew Wilson told his staff in an internal meeting that he believes that the FIFA brand has impeded the franchise. In comments provided anonymously to VGC, Wilson claims that FIFA has precluded EA from expanding its games into more beyond traditional 11v11 or broader digital ecosystems, and suggested that the only value EA got from the licenses is in a non-new World Cup year is 4 letters on the front of the box. I don't think we need to go into any more of this article, because this is literally the news that we give you on Friday or Thursday last week. The newer update for this is that they actually seemingly want to go cross-platform across all major devices, not including the Nintendo Switch, because that's just a legacy edition from like 4 years ago. But yeah, it looks like FIFA will want to branch out into the cross-play stuff, which I can't believe it's taken them this long, if I'm being perfectly honest. If you're going across all major social media, I'm going in the end of the scoop here. If you're going across all major video game consoles or platforms, then obviously having the ability to be able to play against people on PlayStation 4, Xbox, or on the PC, if you're using a PlayStation 5, makes absolute perfect sense. Let's bring the boy back in. Come in. Come closer. We're here. We're all friends. Is this mic off? Oh. Let me turn that one off. I'll turn that one off so there's not a slight echo if there already was one. Ad says, if it's Frostbite, I won't buy. Hypermotion did nothing for the game. 21 and 22 are so similar. It will be the same again, all over again. It's my 3rd year in a row to not buy FIFA, says Lake. Chappers says, hey up, baby. How's it going, Shagger? How you doing? Ad says, Chappers, I have a feeling eFootball will be going to the Switch. Nintendo might end their contract with EA since they are getting legacy editions. And then there's some commands in there from when we go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. So yeah, in terms of FIFA going multi-platform, I have no issues with this. This is something, again, if you're not already in the Discord, this is exactly why you should be in there, because this got fed into the Discord this morning. I did already have it in the news, so hold on to your horses. But it was a nice jumping off point in terms of people are very passionate about football games, and I think that's evident to say with the chat now and what's in our Discord if you've not seen it before. So the fact there is going to be crossplay is fantastic. I haven't been able to nail down a pro clubs night with the boys, and that is because some of them will be playing on PlayStation 4, some of them will be playing on PC, and then some of them will be playing on Xbox. So none of us are going to be double dipping for these games. So you buy it for the console of your preferred choice, and you will be playing that for the entire year. Whereas 3 of your friends could be playing on Xbox, 2 on PC, and then your other 5 mates might be playing on PS4, which you can't do cross-play between PS5 and PS4. You obviously can with the Xbox. As far as I'm aware, through digital, Smart Digital? What's it called? I always forget what it's called. Smart Delivery. Smart Delivery? Is that what it was? Where basically you can play your Xbox One games on your Xbox Series X and S. No problems. It just upscales or whatever, so you're only buying one copy of the game and being able to play it on all of them depending on which console you're on. Fantastic. Love that shit. PlayStation, not so much. You can't have that. So if you buy a PlayStation 4 version, you can't play your PlayStation 5 friends, and vice versa. So yeah, having stuff like this will be fantastic. I'm interested to see how it will work and whether or not, I mean, because waiting times on FIFA for playing an online game is not long at all. You'd literally jump into a game pretty much straight away, so there's no latency. Well, there is latency depending on where you're playing it is, and there will, but in terms of finding a game, there's no problems in doing that. So what problems that will bring, interesting. Obviously, the fact that they're going to be expanding into the women's leagues as well. I think they've only got international teams there now for the women's side of things. So I'm interested to see if they start to include some of the club stuff, because women's football is getting increasingly popular. Albeit, I don't think it will probably reach the where the men's game is in terms of popularity and money revenue in there. However, it is still a massive. Women's football is still massive. So there will be young girls or maybe older blokes who are interested. It doesn't necessarily have to be younger girls. Older blokes are interested in playing in some of the women's leagues on FIFA. I don't think it'll cost them that much to have in there if they've got data available to them in 2 seconds. So I don't see the harm in putting that in there. It's going to affect literally nobody's game. If you don't want to play in the women's leagues, you just don't choose that as a career mode and you're good to go. Am I ready for 2K22? I guess we're talking about WWE. If you are, yes. If you're talking about PGA, yes, if there's one coming out this year. A Timeless Soul says, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, mate. How are you doing? Champa says, I'll actually play the WSL for a bit, to be honest. Arsenal are unreal to watch. So are City. City, Chelsea, and Arsenal are the 3 best women's teams in the English league. They just seem to be fighting for everything all the time. Again, if you're looking for the same kind of substance that you get from the men's game, it's not going to be there. The pace isn't there. The goalkeepers are obviously tiny, so you do see a lot of goals being chipped or strikes from distance because a lot of them can't reach them. But it's football at the end of the day, and I will watch anything. I don't see why it always gets slagged off, because the women who are playing, believe me, will still run rings around your average Sunday League team. I know there's always that famous story of them getting a women's USA team beat 15-0 or whatever it was. That one always keeps on getting crept up. But it is what it is. Ad says they better get the Celtic women's team. Timeless says WWE 1 week today, baby. So excited, mate. I cannot wait. It was WWE, but yeah, also forgot our PGA is also 2K22. I can't wait for both of them. This year, man, I genuinely think this year might be the biggest year for video games, like ever. And that is saying something. We have had some historic years when it comes to video games coming out, but this year feels different. Do you know what I mean? It feels mental. There's always a banger coming out, especially over the last 30 days and the next 30 days as well. It's a bit insane. But we'll move on to the next story, otherwise I'll start rabbiting on about something. So these Valve, it's 2 separate articles, but I'm going to try and merge them into one because I feel it'll make a bigger story if I do. So let me bring this up on the screen. Game frame. Am I in the right place? Am I in shot? Levels. Okay, so this has been written on Eurogamer over by Victoria Kennedy, and she states that Valve would happily help Microsoft put Game Pass on Steam. Valve boss Gabe Newell would happily help Microsoft get Game Pass on the Steam, he said. During an interview with PC Gamer, Newell was asked about the option of creating a subscription service such as Microsoft's Game Pass for the Steam Deck. In response, Newell said, I don't think it's something that we would need to do ourselves, building a subscription service at this time. But for Microsoft's customers, it's clearly a popular option, and we were more than happy to work with them to get that into the Steam Deck. Currently, Microsoft's Game Pass subscription service for Windows and Xbox runs through its own app and not on Steam. These comments are from Newell Newell following an announcement last week that Microsoft-owned publisher Bethesda would be retiring its own PC launcher in May. From then on, all Bethesda games in Players and Bethesda.net library would be available via Steam. But in this case, Bethesda stated it expects almost all save progress to be transferable automatically or manually, with the exception of Wolfenstein Youngblood, which currently is unable to transfer, which is weird. I wonder why that one isn't available to transfer. But anyway, Eurogamer editor Chief Martin Robinson had the chance to meet with Newell following the launch of the Valve Steam Deck. Here, Newell discussed his thoughts on the Steam Deck's future and how he has been envisaging something like this since the 1990s. You can read more of Martin's chat with Newell, as well as some of his own impressions of the Steam Deck right here. Now, I'd usually jump straight into this story, but I feel like I'm going to jump into the other story straight off the bat, because I feel like it will build a bigger narrative around what I want to say. So this then is Valve is already planning a Steam Deck 2, and Gabe Newell views the device as a permanent addition to PC gaming. Again, this has been written by Rick Lane over at PC Gamer, and he states that Valve is already planning a follow-up to its hotly anticipated Steam Deck, according to the company president Gabe Newell. Speaking to Edge magazine, Newell was discussing Valve's surprise when most expensive version of the Steam Deck provided a far and away the most popular version of the handheld. That's why we love gaming. That's why we always love to get something out there and ship it, because we learn a lot from that. It helps frame our thinking for the Deck too. The new version of the Steam Deck will likely be a more powerful version of the device, reflecting what Valve believes its customers are saying in purchasing the higher-end deck. Basically, they're saying we would like an even more expensive version of this in terms of horsepower, capabilities, and whatever, Newell said. Indeed, it appears that Valve is already a long future plan for the Steam Deck, with Newell envisaging a permanent addition to PC gaming. The second iterations are going to be more about what the capabilities that mobile gives us and what beyond you would like to get in a traditional desktop or laptop. What's interesting about the Valve situation for the Steam Deck seemingly it ties into ongoing pursuit of VR gaming, with Newell stating that the Steam Deck represents battery-capable, high-performance horsepower that eventually could use in VR applications as well. That would be a sight to behold, walking around with a giant Steam Deck in the front of your head. But anyway, it's true that one of the main barriers to making VR gaming accessible is the physical inconvenience nature of the hardware, which is why Facebook's Meta's Quest headsets are by far the most popular VR devices. Could Valve be planning a Steam Deck that somehow integrates into a VR headset, one that simultaneously reduces the cost of investing in VR hardware and making it easier to use, or perhaps just a Steam Deck with enough graphical power to push a tethered VR headset, such as the Valve Index? Whatever Valve's plans are, Newell says we are not there yet, but seemingly a second Steam Deck is very much in the pipelines. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that it sounded like a lot to take in, but here's a lowdown, right? Here's a lowdown from Big Papa Bibby. It looks like we're going to be getting, at some point, which kind of goes without saying, the Steam Deck has been a fantastic piece of hardware in terms of consoles being sold or units being sold. Having 3 different versions of it meant that anyone who wanted one could get in at some point. If you wanted the cheapest version with the was it a smaller screen, smaller battery, and a smaller SSD, but then if you wanted the most expensive one, increased screen, increased battery performance, increased SSD, all the bits, and then the middle of the ground was a bit of both here and there. There was 3 different versions of it. Fantastic. Get yourself in there if you really wanted to. This mobile gaming unit will take the world by storm. We all talk about how good the Switch is, and it is. The Switch is fantastic. However, this is going to be bigger than the Switch in terms of what it can churn out, the amount of games available to it. Like, you look at your Steam library, the variations of third-party games on there, which they're all pretty much first-party, aren't they? Because Valve, well, there is obviously some Valve games on there. Anyway, the library is extensive, is what I'm trying to say, compared to the Nintendo Switch. Because the Switch, this generation, and I could be saying on the Wii U as well, with the likes of Call of Duty jumping on there, you'd be able to play games on there. They did have third-party support, but nowhere near as much as it does now. Like, third-party games over on the Nintendo Switch, it feels like it's been unheard of. It feels like that was the kind of support that you wanted on the Wii U originally, which it didn't get. Same with the PS Vita, that didn't get third-party support all that much, and especially first-party, hence the reason why it died. So the fact that your Steam library is pretty much all playable within the Steam Deck. Now, I know there's going to be people screaming, "Oh, but Bippy, they're not all the games are going to be compatible. You won't be able to play everything on there." Of course, every single game isn't going to be compatible, and we've already seen the likes of Fortnite Fortnite won't be playable on the Steam Deck as it stands. That doesn't mean that won't change. Believe me, if they're able to play that over on the Nintendo Switch, and I don't think it's a graphical thing, and I don't think it's a performance thing, I think it's just that red tape that goes across it because Epic probably don't want to play with Valve at this moment in times. I mean, Epic would probably make quite a lot of money if they did, but anyway, there is going to be red tape across a lot of games as well. It's not going to be a free-for-all, but tying back into the first article that we read about Game Pass coming on there, that will fill a major gap if they're able to go over and do that. Like having a fully fledged Xbox Game Pass experience on a handheld console like that, I am well aware that you're able to play Xbox Game Pass games on your mobile device now, and more often than not, it is absolute arse. It is shit, because I mean, around the Manchester area where I live, good luck trying to get a 5G signal that stays up long enough for you to be able to play that game without it being flawless. The same with the Wi-Fi. Like, I don't know what it is, it just doesn't work well for me. My experience of playing xCloud is poor, to say the least. So having Xbox Game Pass installed on the device, and you can natively download those games onto your console and be able to play them anywhere you want without the use of xCloud, that for me, my friend, is a future that I am heavily invested in and something that I cannot wait to potentially take part in. I wasn't one of the first supporters of the Steam Deck. I am aware that there is people up in the office upstairs in the ICU and Jelly Media offices that have purchased one and they are waiting for theirs to be dispatched. I mean, the queue is far and wide. I think they are going to be sending them out until the end of 2022, depending on which one you ordered and what part of the queue you was in when you purchased it. So it could be a while before we're getting into that. But again, it's a system that you can, if you really, really wanted to, dock it and play it on your monitor, plug a keyboard and mouse into it and use it as a portable gaming laptop. Is that not sick or what? That is amazing stuff. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to have one of these Steam Decks in my hands and I'll be able to give you the full lowdown of what Bibi actually thinks and how capable it is of how to run things. I did also, on a small tangent, I did see, was it Jeff Grubb post this weekend that the Steam Deck has a Play Store type application on there where he has, or people have as well, downloaded emulators onto this, and they're running stuff like PlayStation 2 emulators, Dolphin GameCube emulators. Literally, it's insane. Like, if I would have to get one, if I wanted one, I would have to buy the top notch, like the one with the most memory, because I would just be clogging this up with every single classic PES there has ever been, just so I have the opportunity to say, does anyone fancy a game of PES 5? Does anyone fancy booting up the PS2 emulator and going to have a bit of PES 2 action? No? What about PES 2010? Does anyone fancy a bit of that action? Do you know what I mean? If I want to play Pokemon Gale of Darkness on the go, Bibi can do it. So, again, as an all-encompassing technical masterclass, it's been getting rave reviews. I don't know much about how the entire performance of it is. Like, people have been trying to play it. Technically you can play Elden Ring on it, but people have been trying to play that on their PC and they're having a bad time at the moment because it needs patching to high hell. We are still a distance away from making it the perfect machine. That's obviously what they're trying to say with the Steam Deck 2, that PC parts become redundant pretty quick. RAM becomes redundant, CPUs become redundant if you can even get your hands on them. The fans and things like that all start to break down quite easily. So again, it's all about future proofing, and I don't think they'll be able to do that straight off the bat. But we live in a future where technology can evolve within the space of 12 hours. So I'm interested to see where this ends up in a year's time and what we're going to end up seeing. I can't see it being as long. I can't see us staying on the Steam Deck as long as we have done with this iteration of the Nintendo Switch without having a high-performance version coming out. I will say 2 years max, because most people change their graphics card every 2 or 3 years and they'll upgrade their RAM or they'll change their CPU or whatever. Like, it's pretty frequent with the PC guys, so I can't see this being around before they get the second iteration. But anyway, I will go through the chat now because I have seen it pop in this afternoon, which I do appreciate by all you guys. Scrolling back up. Breath of the Wild 2 this year, says ads. Hopefully. We'll see if that gets delayed. Timeless says 2008 and 2011 will take some bleating, but this far so far has been amazing. Chapper says, why one variant of Celtic is bad enough. We don't need two of the shite bastards in one space. Say that to the SPFL table. Mate, aside from Rangers, there's not one team that would even be above mid-table in the EFL League One or SPL. Not a single one guaranteed. Tito says, apologies for my tardiness. It's okay, mate. Don't worry about it. The hats have been dispatched. You wasn't here when I give all the spiel this morning. Your hats have been dispatched. Yours is on its way for being mod of the year. Absolute legend. I hope you enjoy the present. As says, Celtic's current team wouldn't do well. We have a worst left-back and centre-back I've ever saw, and only 2 of our strikers are any good. But always getting injured, and you also get beat by teams in the European Conference League, whatever that is. Second iteration needs a better battery, says Timeless. That's the one thing I think a lot of people technically forget about. Like, it's all well and good having the most powerful device in your hand, but if your battery life is shit, what is the point? Because you'll get like an hour out of it, and then you'll have to charge it, but that's not good for a portable system, is it? An hour, if you're having a portable gaming system, I would say 2.5 hours to 3 hours is probably the benchmark. Like, I know you'd want more, and that does get the Switch doesn't always do that, depending on the game. If you're playing stuff like Doom, Wolfenstein, Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, you're lucky to get 2.5 hours out of it. So if you're playing games in 1080p or 4K, you're lucky to get half an hour out of it. So as a handheld device, I would much rather have something that I can play for a long time rather than something that only lasts an hour. Thomas says, mate, you've been given one of their tests to work and isn't impressed so far. Interesting. All great, but the battery doesn't last a journey from to and from work, which is pointless. Yeah, I think that comes into the broader picture. As says, it'll be bigger than the Switch Pro, though. Considering the Switch Pro doesn't exist, I'm going to say yes, says Timeless. Tito comes in and says it could be worse, it could be Stadia, but yeah, xCloud isn't there yet. Timeless says xCloud is in the right direction. We all have mobile devices and the ability to already use them. You see, that's where mobile gaming comes in, and everyone seems to shit on that, despite there being some very, very good examples of very, very good games. It's just how they get implemented and how intrusive they are in terms of how much they're trying to get into your wallet, as to whether or not it's a good game. The best games don't necessarily mean that they're going to be getting the most money, but they kind of go hand in hand as well. Like, I want to be able to play PUBG without having to use the touchscreen, which is an absolute abomination with these massive hands. But yeah, like you can see, like on my phone, this, you can't really see, but you can see how big my hands are compared to my phone. Like, it's a little bit of a nightmare. And even using like the Razer Kishi, it doesn't necessarily work for every game. Like, it doesn't work for PUBG, it doesn't work for Call of Duty Mobile, 2 games that I would absolutely love to be able to play with a controller, but I can't, so I won't. xCloud's in the right now. I've already read that one. Can you download porn to it though? Maybe. You make people watching porn on a Nintendo 2DS, so I imagine so. I think there's a great point. PC games move so quick, it will be in the next few years games. Exactly, yep, I agree. Yay, Hats Eagle Eye is going to be going out. Tito says, I love you. You guys are legends. It's a pleasure being part of this positive community you and Gray have created. Well, it's only as good as the people that are in it. So we can hold the door open, but if there's a load of knobs at the door, we're going to be closing it. But you guys seem to be coming through and just being legends and being nice to each other, which in a world that we live in so far, it doesn't always seem to be the easiest thing to be able to put together. But so far, we've done quite well, and you guys have been legends. Our band list must be quite short. I think the biggest bands we do is for the wanna buy followers. Like, our band list is quite short. They usually get shot down. They usually leave themselves. Because I might get bullied by myself and Graham when they try to be smart asses in the chat. But anyway, that's what you guys are all here for as well. The best games can be played with airplane mode on. Well, I should say. I agree. There's a lot of mobile games that you can actually download that don't require in-game microtransactions. Therefore, you can turn it on airplane mode and you're able to good. The best games can pass the airplane mode test. The hats sent by Royal Mail, yes, they have. They have been sent by Royal Mail. So again, there's a big depot at the end of the road. So I whizzed my car around, got them all sorted and sent down today. So again, you should get them by the end of the week. I did take pictures, but addresses was on there, so I'm not posting them all, just in case. So yeah, I don't want to dox any of yous. If it's basic as fuck and fun with airplane mode on, therefore it just isn't a shitty time sink to let other shitty mobile games time sinks, then it's great. I mean, the games like Cut the Rope, they were historically, you couldn't play them, I don't think, on planes because they require a constant internet connection. I'll never get it. I never get why. So there's like free kick games where you can play against the computer and stuff like that, or do a career mode. Like Score Hero was another one. Like, you couldn't play that without it having an internet connection, which kind of defeats the point for me. But Some pass the test, some don't. If it's Hermes, I'd likely be fine, but our Royal Mail bloke is clueless. He can't read. Oh, God. Well, there have been sent, and they are signed and tracked, so I will be able to try and find them if anything goes wrong, which I'll start to do on Friday. If they haven't started to land, I will check. Again, there is a nice little note in there as well, so if you do end up not getting it, then just let us know, because again, we can track all of that for you. That's no problem. Hermes broke my new TV twice as ads. Christ, in the same delivery. No one can outsmart Graham. Trust me, I've tried. That's the point, Graham. Like, if you try and get involved, I mean, this isn't an open invitation, by the way. It's not open season, but yeah, it's one of those, like, try it if you must, because he will lead you down a corridor that you probably don't want to be down alone on. I have to go to a game. Have a nice day. You too, Lake. Have a good one, mate. Guardians of the Galaxy coming to Game Pass. Yes, Mr. Bamba sent me that just before I went live. A couple of other games as well. So yeah, if you haven't played Guardians, I suggest you do so. I'm yet to finish it, and it's not through lack of trying. It's not because I got bored. It's because I now have a child who just demands attention all the time. I have a wife and a child that demands attention all the time. So I've been focusing my energy on that. Ice Cream Little says, yeah, again, it's not an open invitation, but believe me, he will lead you down somewhere you do not want to go. Guaranteed they'll pop when I try to deliver a card through my letterbox, despite the fact that I never leave my gaff. Glad I didn't buy it now. Yeah. So yeah, that's a game for you to enjoy as of... When do the games with gold go live? Is it the 1st? It's the 1st and 16th of every month, innit? I don't think it's like PlayStation where you have to wait for the first Tuesday of each month. Like, it might end up being the 7th or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Royal Mail just do a habit of leaving packages outside my door and not ringing my bell and walking off. The 1st and 16th. Yeah. So I don't know when it's going to be coming through. He just said that Guardians is coming to Game Pass, so I took his word for it. I don't know the exact dates. So if you guys know that, feel free to put it in. But we've got one more news article for you today. It is around some compromising stuff, and it's not me. It's not my iCloud. Nvidia completely compromised by a cyber attack written by Ed Nightingale over at Eurogamer, and he states, when I can bring this on full screen like this, and then I go to this, and then hopefully I will be there. Yes, I am. Hello. With all the Destiny 2 ads, which actually is probably one of the ads that is working for me at the moment, because I do want to go back to Destiny at some point, and I've heard that this new Witch Queen DLC is one of the best campaigns that they've done so far, so that's nice to know. But anyway, Nvidia has reportedly been completely compromised by a cyber attack, as reported by the Daily Telegraph. Parts of the graphics card chip business, America's largest microchip company, has been offline for 2 days. A malicious network intrusion has affected Nvidia's internal systems, including email and developer tools, which have suffered outages since last week. Yikes. So far, it's unclear as to whether any data has been stolen from Nvidia, but internal data or customer data of the attack has been stolen to disrupt systems. Or if the attack has been stolen to disrupt the systems. I apologise. We are investigating the incident. We don't have any additional information to share at this time, as says a quote by an Nvidia spokesperson. Earlier in the week, Nvidia spokesperson also told our business and commercial activities continued uninterrupted. We are still working to evaluate the nature of the scope of the event and don't have any additional information to share at this very time. Bloomberg also reported the attack is not connected to the war in Russia and Ukraine, despite governments and companies globally on high alert for any potential cyber attacks. Cybersecurity expert Alan Woodward told the Telegraph that Nvidia likely shut down its systems to avoid further damages. The ultimate concern is that somebody may have put something in one of the software updates. They'll be going through there trying to make sure there is any indication that anything has been changed in their software and then shipped it out to their clients. We don't need to go through the last line or anything like that. But a massive compromising Nvidia cyber attack means that potentially your data may have been compromised, but they don't really know the extent of this just yet. This was updated this morning, so this news broke yesterday. They have updated it with some stuff in there. it doesn't tell me what bit's updated. It just tells me in the title that it has been updated. So I don't know what the story launched with yesterday, but as of yet, they are still unaware as to whether or not your information has been compromised. So that's just one of those. Expect an email in your inbox if you are an Nvidia customer at some point to give you the lowdown of exactly what's happened with them. But as a business, they've done the right thing in shutting the rest of their software units down. If someone has injected any kind of malware or anything malicious into that software, the best thing is not to let it continue spreading. Just shut it down, find out what it is, get rid of it, then put it all back up again, and then start to deliver your practices as you would do before. There is no point keeping your servers or your systems running to then keep on giving people software updates that may cause further harm to their computers or their data, their day-to-day lives, or anything else in between. So they've done the right thing there. It's annoying that this has happened. We don't know if it's just something that someone's done for a laugh, or they're just doing it to what's the word? Like when you're taking something for hostage. Yeah, whether or not they're taking them hostage for a load of money. I'm trying to think of the phrase. I can't think of what it is. But anyway, whether or not they're trying to do that to try and get a load of money at the end of it. Ransom, that's it. Where they're trying to take something for ransom, they're basically saying, we've got all your shit on lockdown. We will remove everything, give us a load of money, and jobs are good. And I don't know whether or not that is the case with this, but ultimately they've done the right thing in just shutting everything down. It's a shame that we didn't know about this earlier. Like, I hate them kind of pushing stuff under the carpet until someone else reports on it, and then it's then time to go into full PR mode. Like, this probably should have been communicated straight away to say, look, your shit is probably going to be shut down for a few days. We'll let you know when it's back up and running again. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but as soon as we know more, we'll let you know. Like, that should be the bare minimum when stuff like this happens, rather than it taking somebody else to notice, and then maybe a day later someone from Eurogamer going to them and going, do you know what, it looks like your website's down, can you tell us why? And they'll go, actually shit's going down here right now, we are putting out fires left, right and centre. Do you know what I mean? So again, I still think they're doing the right thing. It hopefully will be up and running again soon for you guys if you are someone who has been affected by this so far. But again, I still think that they are doing the exact right thing. Going back through the chat then. Chapper says, I've already whammed it into my scoop into the Discord, lads, don't you worry. You can show you, that's one of our chat commands. Sources galore, says Chappers. Witch Queen is epic. I played it for 30 hours straight and loved every minute of it, says Brummy Teza. Jesus, like, you just gone absolute hard on it. Like, you just got 14 boxes of Pro Plus and a couple of iced coffees. That's all you need. Oh, and a pack of Flaming Hot Wotsits. That's all anyone needs in their life. If you've not had them yet, they are goated crisp, as well as mature cheddar. It's the green packet. It might be sour cream and mature cheddar, kettle chips, big green packet, phenomenal. Then we've got some ransomware, ransom. That's why you should watch porn on your PlayStation. No malware, says Tito. Fair. Hey, listen, if you've got spare time on your hands, no pun intended, then what you do in the comfort of your own home, hopefully not on the sofa, and hopefully not giving your PlayStation 4 controller to your friend when he comes round, that's up to you. Do you know what I mean? Whatever you want to do. But that is all I've got for today. I know it's quite a brief show. When it is a dollop, I don't like to spend the entire hour and a half or whatever it is just waffling on for you guys. I like to just get straight in there. We have a chat, we have a catch up, we have a good old time, and we'll give you the video game news that I've managed to find. I told you it was quite dull today. I didn't think it was going to be as riveting as it was, but again, you guys coming through and keeping me company for the 45 minutes or whatever we've been live for, we'd very much appreciate. 56 minutes, bloody hell. Waggling your little joysticks, says Tito. So yes, again, if you wasn't here for the beginning of it, we did ship your hats for those of you that have been kind enough to be able to purchase them. They are gone out in the ether. So they have been sent to the Royal Mail offices today. Hopefully you'll get them if you are in the UK by the end of the week. Friday, Saturday is where we've been told. If you are like Lake and you've bought yours from overseas, then you're likely hoodies 6 to 7 days. So hopefully you'll get it by this time next Tuesday. But Ladies and gentlemen, that is Tuesday's episode of The Scoop now complete. We still have 3 more shows for you to help shape. So if you do want to help shape those shows, there's 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or alternatively, get involved with our Discord. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions, very much like you legends have done today. I very much appreciate that. But all we need is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We will then give you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day? 10 a.m. ish. I'll be live from the studio tomorrow. I think Graham will be from home, providing that is all fit and well. Again, it might just be a dollop from my end, from this side again. I think I've just seen, did I see West come in? I did. Woo! He's right there at the bottom, and he says, Simon says, never a dull with either of you or both of you beautiful faces on our screen. We very much appreciate that. Again, this show was originally made to be able to give you guys some company in the morning. If obviously it was during lockdown where it's kind of you get taken up a ramp because everyone was working from home, but it was literally just there to be able to give you guys some company and we talk about video games because that's something we all like to do, right? We all love video games. We like to talk about them. We all have various opinions. Some of them are shit. My Discord is just going wild at this moment in time. I apologise. I thought I turned it off, but I didn't. Again, some of your opinions are shit. Like that. It feels like someone's doing that on purpose now. Where's my off button? Where is it? I had a very good round, a very good ending to the show there, and someone's just gone in and ruined it. I bet it's Chappers, the shit house. Mute. There we go. But yeah, again, it was just something for you guys to be able to wake up to, listen to. Again, all of our American friends from across the pond, you guys seem to be propping this up on SoundCloud from your side of the thing. So obviously this is going live when you wake up in the morning. So again, very much appreciate it, guys. I'm waffling now. So I'm going to go and raid someone. I don't know who it's be because I have a look while Graham is rounding off the end of the show. So bear with this channel for a minute. We'll send you over to an absolute legend. How's about that, eh? How's about that for a Tuesday afternoon? So until tomorrow, guys, I do appreciate every single one of you that have stopped by. And as always, there's always one thing that we want you to do. And that, my friends, is to stay frosty.